Hi, I'm Dr. Angila Jaeggli, and welcome to our weekly Health Booster. Today I'm going to be talking about low testosterone and why it's important for optimizing men's health, as well as other reasons why women might want to consider use as well. So mostly this is, what I'm going to talk about as far as the benefits today of testosterone do apply to men and this has been heavily researched in men. However, ladies, these are things you want to look for and consider for the men in your life that you love and you care about, because you're going to find, if you see some of these things in your husbands and your boyfriends, or even your, just significant, friends that you notice that maybe some of these things come up, you want to maybe talk to them or show them this video. So let's talk about what are some of the things that can come up when a man is coming up or measuring, and this is through a lab, low levels of testosterone. There are a couple different ways you can check it, and this is something that you want your doctor to do. So there's a total testosterone and a free testosterone. Both are very, very important, although the free is going to show you what is actually available in the body to have action on the tissue and the cells. So that's could be the more important measurement, but both are good. So if this comes up low, some of the things that you might see in someone are feeling of fatigue, loss of mental clarity, lower libido, feeling like lower muscle mass, especially compared to, he might say, like what he used to be able to do, or muscle strength. Also lower mood, depression, insomnia, or other types of poor sleep, as well as irritability. So these are all things that that you might be able to see in someone. Now, looking at conversely, when we optimize the testosterone and get it into a normal level, and that can be very different for every single man. So it has to be monitored, it has to be rechecked. But then the benefits of that are, many times the studies have shown, beyond the opposite of everything I just said, having more energy, having better sleep, having better libido, mood comes up, mood becomes more even. There's other benefits that we've seen in clinical trials, such as, which are really fascinating, an improvement in cardiovascular risk, an improvement actually in the way that cholesterol is seen in the studies. So better good cholesterol, less of what we call the bad cholesterol. They've also done studies around pliability of the arteries, that's improved when testosterone is optimized, along with other long-term brain function. So cognitive function and ability to retain memories, and retain, the ability, that's something that we all probably have a concern about for ourselves, how well is our brain, how well are we going to remember things as we get older? And this is something that can be really helpful for men. Also, really interesting study in looking at, it was a review of older men, so these were men in their 70s that actually had broken a hip or broken something, they were in rehab. And what they found was really, really fascinating, that men who had low testosterone had a longer rehab stay, they were more likely to come back and be re-injured, and they were more likely to experience death within 5 years of that incident, compared to men at that age who had optimal testosterone. So, some people might think, well, low testosterone is just really an effect of aging, which can be true. However, we start seeing this, and it can show up in early, as men in their mid-20s. And so men in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and of course beyond, really there's some benefit to coming in and having your doctor check those levels and having that conversation. So, if it's low, do you always have to treat with testosterone? Not necessarily. There are studies that have shown that reducing stress, doing other things to, optimize your sleep, improving your exercise, There was a study on deep breathing. I don't know if you're familiar with Tony Robbins, but Harvard actually took some of his techniques of, people assuming a power pose, which is like your arms up and like, I feel great, and doing deep breathing with this, having a session of taking like 20 minutes of doing that over time, I think it was about 6 weeks, that testosterone levels increased by about 20%. There are other precursors we can give, like DHEA, that can convert. And then L-carnitine actually can have a testosterone-like effect. It hasn't been shown to actually increase the levels, but can give some of the same benefits, such as, better muscle mass, or maintaining muscle mass, improving libido, improving cognitive function and energy. So sometimes for men that for, different reasons, maybe they don't want to do testosterone, or would like to try something else first, could look into that, those other things to help that, and then you recheck. But for the men who do, this is something that you can either do, you can be prescribed an injection and be taught how to do that, or have your doctor do it for you, or a topical. And actually what they found is that both are pretty well tolerated and have good effect on the body. There's just different benefits. You have a more sustained dosing when you get a topical, whereas sometimes the injectable people sometimes get a little bit of a peak, and then they come down when it gets a little closer to their next shot. And some men notice that, and some men don't notice that. And so it really depends, again, on the person. So lots of reasons to look into this hormone. Take a look, especially if you're experiencing any of those symptoms that I mentioned. And it's very possible that with just a very simple treatment that you could be feeling much better. And I don't want to forget to mention, use of testosterone in women. So that's a little more limited. We have very little testosterone compared to men. If we think about, men are low, very, very low at 250 and below. That's for a total. And women, we top out at 45. So we don't even get anywhere close to where a man's normal would be. But the benefits to optimizing testosterone in women can be better libido, better sexual experience, and increased muscle mass and sustaining of the muscle mass. That's usually, there can be other hormone balancing reasons that we might want to look at testosterone for a woman, but usually that goes in combination with optimizing the other hormones, the estrogen and progesterone. So, but definitely, libido can be, for women that are, just needing that little bit extra, it could actually be done locally, which can be a pretty awesome experience for some women. Yes, so have any questions about this, definitely come see us, check us out. Website is sagemedclinic.com, and we look forward to seeing you next time.